Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Real Sports Updates here, back again with another video. So again, another video. We are covering cut day here. It's been a interesting, interesting day just so far across the NFL. This cut though for the Chargers that I want to get to, Mark Webb. Number one, this is not surprising at all. But number two, I kind of want to explain why I think his Chargers career is not over yet. So obviously Mark Webb was cut by the Chargers yesterday, and this happened basically because of injury, right? This was the only reason why, in my opinion, I believe Mark Webb was cut. Now, a lot was said about him, open up camp the first couple of weeks. He was balling and he was a standout, and he had clearly, done his work in the offseason. He had clearly, did a lot of things. He got his body a little better. He started to understand the defense a little more, right? He put his head in the books. He was in the gym. He studied. He got better. And it showed. It showed very early in camp. And, I think he was a guy that was, being talked about as, wow, this guy could probably be a standout this season. But the injury happened. The calf injury happened, and it kept him out of camp. And, he got absolutely no preseason reps in at all. So this was a guy who did not play at all in the preseason. And, I think this is one of the cases in the NFL where it is, you're out of sight, out of mind. And, it doesn't matter how well you are playing. It doesn't matter, how many expectations, you're exceeding. If you get hurt and if you're injured for a longer period of time and you are not an established player, you're not an established superstar, or even just an established starter in the league, you're just a guy that's out of sight, out of mind. And I think Mark Webb, his injury woes have pretty much been, the downfall of his career. Last year, he got injured. He played in 3 or 4 games, I believe, last year. But he ended up having, another injury last year that kept him out, and Brandon Staley said, if it wasn't for the injury, he probably would have got a lot of playing time in. So, he was a guy that could have, potentially solidified his name as far as, just roster players go, right? One of the 53. I think if he would have played last year, I think he probably would have done that, especially if he put, just anything good on tape last year. Came back, had the same type of offseason, and then came back and showed himself to be even better. I think he obviously would have been a guy who would have made this team right away. But it's just the injury bug, man, and it sucks. Some players just have, the bad luck when it comes to injuries. There's really not a whole lot that you can do about it. Football obviously is a very physical sport, collision sport. So, you can be injured anytime you step on the field. So there's really no surprises when it comes to that. There's no surprises when it comes to this cut. Now, the thing about this, though, is I think that Mark Webb could be back, and I haven't really heard anything official. I haven't heard anything official that's come from any of the Charger beat reporters, Daniel Popper. There's a couple other guys who were reporting on the cuts and things too, but I haven't heard anything official. But I think Mark Webb is the guy. Look for him to be back because he has too much potential, I think, for the Chargers to just say, hey, you can just go ahead and go to another team, especially with the divisional opponents, right? Kansas City needs help in the defensive backfield. The Chiefs need help in the defensive backfield. The Raiders most certainly need help in the defensive backfield. There are too many teams who can use a guy like him, and he can probably go in there and get starting spots with those types of teams. But I think the Chargers are probably going to be looking to bring him back just because, like I said, he has too much untapped potential. He is a guy that this is his second year in the defense, even though he didn't play a lot, right? This is his second year in the defense, though. So his second year, with the Staley defense, just being abreast of all of the different, things that Staley wants to do, how he wants to play, all that stuff. He's a guy that knows this now. So I think the Chargers are going to bring him back. And to be honest with you, I think it would be a very, very good thing for the Chargers to bring him back on the practice squad. I think they could probably, if he's healthy enough, they can bring him back on the practice squad and, so they don't lose him. So, he's not signed to another team, maybe activate him, week 3, whatever. But get him activated really early, so that way, another team is not able to steal him off the practice squad. Because I think Mark Webb can come in. I think he can come in very, very, very. I think he become a very important cog in what the Chargers want to do, depending on who they face. Right now, let's say Kansas City gets off to a really good start. Let's say they're doing what they have been doing, right? And they are, going up and down the field. They are, just pretty much just dominating, right? As far as the passing game goes, Mahomes goes, all that stuff. I think Mark Webb, he can fit into specific game plans, especially if, you bring him off the practice squad, you activate him. You can have him playing the deep safety. You can have him and Nasir Adderley playing in deep safety, right? And then you can bring Derwin James up, and you kind of have Derwin James play that robber role, bring him up to the line of scrimmage, have him play, some linebacker a little bit, especially if you just want to switch things up and you want a guy in the middle of the field who is, going to help out against the Travis Kelce's, right? Who can be in the middle of the field and kind of stop that intermediate stuff, especially when Mahomes or Russell Wilson gets to scrambling around. You kind of want Derwin James in the middle of the field being able to patrol that. So if you bring Mark Webb back, he's a guy who knows this defense, right? He has flashed, that he has skill, that he does have knowledge of what he's doing back there, right? He's a guy you can easily throw back there, and then you can, like I said, bring Derwin James up to play the money position, the robber position, and just kind of throw defenses off a little bit, right? At least try to slow them down so that they're not just going to be running up and down the field, having tight ends play one-on-one with linebackers and things like that. That can really help out, especially considering that the younger guys on the Chargers roster are not really ready, particularly JT Woods. He's not ready to, have that role yet. He's not ready to be a NFL safety yet. So bringing a guy up like Mark Webb can really help the Chargers out as far as the versatility of whatever defense that they want to call. And I know Staley wants to get more exotic with the defense this year. You have the two bookends. You have an upgraded, defensive line, the interior. So you're going to be able to stop the run better. You're going to be able to rush the passer better. And, you kind of want to be able to play some games. So you need guys. You need experienced guys on the back end who are going to know where to be and going to know what to do. And I think Mark Webb really does fit that role, but only if he's healthy. Only if he's healthy. If he's healthy, then he can do all of the stuff that I said. But, again, his injuries really have been his downfall so far. He's shown stuff his rookie year. He obviously showed something this year. So I don't think that his NFL journey is done. Obviously, I don't think that his journey with the Chargers is done. I think this was a move that had to be made to get that extra linebacker in there, because we've seen with the way that the Chargers have, put out the initial 53-man roster, is that extra linebacker in there. Amen Obing, I don't even want to try to butcher his last name, but he made the team. I was expecting him to possibly be cut, but he made the team. He made the team last year as well, too, as a rookie. So did Nick Neiman. So you have that extra interior linebacker spot. So, with a guy like that, you put that 53-man out. Now you can bring Mark Webb in. You can, maybe switch him out for one of the linebackers, or, one of the extra linemen or whatever. It just depends on who you want to activate on, whatever game day, right? Depending on who the opponent is. So I think he is a guy everybody should watch for the Chargers to bring him back to be on the practice squad. I think he has some value, and he has some value to the Chargers. And he knows this defense. He got a lot of Derwin James's reps the first couple of weeks of practice before, he got hurt. Mark Webb, before he himself got hurt, he was playing that money position, and he was really turning heads. So I think that is something to, you should also really think about as well, too. But, I think this guy's going to be back. Hopefully he'll be back. Hopefully he'll be on the practice squad. Hopefully he doesn't get signed by another team, or, have his contract picked up by another team. But, we'll see right now. This is, we're still early in this. There's still some time left until the regular season gets going, and until teams start to, put in their waiver claims on players who have gotten, waived today. And, we'll see what happens going forward, because I think we're going to have a lot of answers by, probably this coming weekend. Teams are going to start preparing for the following week at that point. So we'll have answers coming up this weekend about who's going to land where, who the Chargers might be, putting on their practice squad, and so on and so forth. But until then, all we can do right now is speculate. But I do think Mark Webb will be back. I think he will be playing for the Chargers this year, even though he didn't make the initial 53 man. He's got a lot to give the Chargers, and I think Brandon Staley and Tom Telesco both know that, and I think they're both banking on him being back. So. There's not a whole lot of mystery with this guy here. But again, you never know how things will turn out. So we'll see how it eventually plays itself out. But that's all I got for this video, guys. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing to the channel. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up on the way out as well too. I will be back with more and more content. Again, cut day. So kind of just going over some of the more important cuts that I personally feel are going to affect the Chargers, right? One way or the other. But just wanted to touch on it a little bit before the season starts. But all I got for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for all the support, and I will see you guys later.